Good evening, Karina Carvalho with ABC News. Malcolm Turnbull and Donald Trump have met for the first time since a terse phone call over Australia's refugee deal. Both leaders praised each other as they celebrated the close ties between the two nations. But the Prime Minister was left waiting as the President stayed in Washington to gloat over a congressional victory. North America correspondent Zoe Daniel reports from New York.
After 100 years of mateship, what's a few hours' delay between friends?
For nearly a century, Americans and Australians have fought together, bled together, and died together as brothers and sisters.
From the mud of Hamel to the waters of the Coral Sea to the sands of the Middle East today, Australians and Americans stand shoulder to shoulder defending our freedoms.
It was their first meeting since that terse phone call over the US-Australia refugee deal. But apparently, that's a non-issue.
You know, they said we had a rough phone call. We really didn't have a rough phone call, did we? Everyone's talking about this phone call.
And despite the hours-long delay, there was no apparent lingering tension. Quite the reverse.
I love Australia. We have a fantastic relationship, but I love Australia, always have.
Malcolm Turnbull met with the Joint Terrorism Task Force and the head of the US Pacific Fleet this morning. He then cooled his heels while the President celebrated the passage of his policy to overhaul healthcare through the House.
But we want to brag about the plan because this plan really...
This is what the people look like.
It's the President's first trip back to his hometown since the inauguration, and not all were happy about it. But it was the veterans of the Battle of the Coral Sea 75 years ago that both leaders came to see.
Great to see you. Great to see you too.
It was a fight that helped forge a lasting alliance between the two countries.
You saved Australia and you turned the tide of war.
That's what I did.
The first of a series of events to mark 100 years of mateship, it attracted a stellar crowd from business, politics and defence.
These are dangerous times, and we must be, as this great carrier is called, intrepid.
The two leaders have sat together for a lengthy dinner here on this World War II aircraft carrier this evening. It's an appropriate forum at a time of mounting global threats, among them North Korea, which was the main item on the agenda. Testy phone call or not, it's clear the alliance remains strong, especially on military matters.
We are proudly and profoundly grateful for Australia's contributions in Syria, Iraq and Afghanistan.
Asked if he'll visit Australia soon, the President said that will happen. Zoe Daniel, ABC News, New York.